Hey guys, I'm back. Did you miss me? Because I missed you. In this video, I'm going to be telling you how I was able to get an apartment from Nigeria before landing in Canada and everything you just need to know, and also the questions I was asked at the port of entry. So if you're interested, sit back and let's dive in. Guys, the number of times that somebody has come to my DM to be like, when are you going to post? Some people are chill and like, why are you not posting? Some people are like, it's been 7 months since you posted. In all, I love you guys so much. I'm happy for the DMs, for the messages. Thank you so much. I know you guys deserve some kind of explanation. When I came to Canada in August, I got my job like basically 2 weeks and some days after school started. So that was like really fast. And after that, it became very real. This is me still trying to adjust to like the educational system of Canada. I'm still trying to get used to the system, what the classes feels like, and boom, I got a job. It was a very tough adjustment for me, I must say. I had to go to classes from Monday to Friday every single day, and then I go to work from Fridays to Sunday. Currently, I have work today, but I literally have like an hour to film this for you guys. In fact, I'm currently in my workplace. Yeah, they gave me an accommodation. My workplace is like in a different city from where I'm based. So I always have to commute like immediately after my class, I'm jumping into a ride and I'm coming to this city. So I'm always busy. I'm always either in school or at work. So because of that, I have really not had the time to film and document as much as I needed. So yeah, I decided to just take this opportunity and give you guys this apology, and I'm so sorry for being away for so long. But yeah, I'm back and I'll really try to inculcate filming into my schedule and try to make it work. So due to popular request, a lot of people has come into my DMs to ask me about how I was able to secure an apartment. And I know that in my travel vlog, that was part of the things that I said I would tell you guys. So I decided to come back with that video to bless you guys with it. So let's get into, how I got that apartment. I would say that the first thing that you need to take note of is the city that you're going to be staying in. Why that is important is because it will help you with the budget you need for the apartment you need to get. I mean, you can't want to stay in Toronto and be like, okay, I want an apartment of $400. Like, that's not possible because it's very expensive in Toronto. So you need to know what it will cost to live there averagely as a student. You have to know the range to have a realistic budget. That's my point. So knowing the city you're going to be staying in is very important to really help you with like budgeting and creating a realistic budget. Like, clock that. It has to be realistic. So that will be the first thing, creating a realistic budget based on your city and the area that you're going to be potentially living in. So now you've created a realistic budget, and the next thing is to search, right? So I'm going to be telling you 3 different websites that I used when searching for mine. The first one I used was Kijiji. I used kijiji.com. The second place I used was Facebook Marketplace. And the last place I used was Places for Students. So at first, when I started to look for an apartment, Kijiji.car was like my main focus. But then along the line, I couldn't access Kijiji again. And I was like so surprised because initially I could really access Kijiji from Nigeria. And also on Facebook Marketplace, I couldn't send a message to the people that listed the rentals. So I always had to like I had difficulties like messaging them. The only website I could access comfortably from Nigeria was Places for Students. I don't know if it still works now, but as of that time, that was the only website I could access like comfortably from Nigeria. So after Kijiji and Facebook Marketplace started doing all those things, I had to use VPN. So I used like this super proxy limited whatever. I'm not sure of the name, but I'm just going to put it up there for you guys just in case you need it. So that was the VPN I used. The main website that I was able to secure my apartment from was from Places for Students, because it usually suggested listings that are closer to your school, if that makes sense. It doesn't mean that there won't be a listing that is there that is so far from your school, but from there you can see like what the distance feel like, how far away it is, and it just gives you an idea of what to expect when it comes to like distance from the school. So now you are conducting your search. Here is what I would advise you to look out for. The first thing, you need to of course know the price. Is it within my budget? Is it something I can afford? What's the distance from your school like, especially if you're coming as a student? How far away is this apartment from my school? Is it going to be too much on me to commute, or is it going to be a comfortable commute? The next thing you need to take note of is the lease. What's the lease like? Is it a 1 year lease? Is it a 2 month lease? Is it a month? Is it a 6 month lease? You need to be sure of what that's like. And I know maybe for some people you may not understand what the lease is, but I'm going to be explaining it like really soon. And then the next thing you need to note, especially if you're coming in maybe as a student and you're coming in on a budget, you want to check if it's furnished or not. When you're landing, you're just trying to settle in, right? You don't want that to be the first thing that you're doing, maybe to go and start looking for furnitures and stuff like that. At least you want something that you can start with, and maybe if you want to upgrade later, like that's fine. So it was important to me to find somewhere that was furnished. So if that is important to you, you need to check if that place is furnished. You need to check if this thing is all inclusive, and by all inclusive we mean hydro, laundry, internet. Some people actually pay rent and also pay for utilities separately. Personally, I wanted like an all inclusive, something that every single thing is included in my rent. I don't want to be paying rent and paying Jara on top, if that makes sense. You need to make sure that you're taking that into account, and that the apartment you're looking for is all inclusive. It has like everything you need, and that is that. But I also know that you guys may be wondering what a lease is. So a lease is, the contract you have with your landlord. And most of the time, like when you come and you want to get an apartment, you would usually sign a lease. And as a newcomer and somebody coming internationally, whatever country you're coming from, when signing a lease, the landlord expects things from you like credit card, guarantor, and all of those things. So as a newcomer, you don't have those, right? Except maybe you have like somebody here that can serve as your guarantor and would also provide their credit score. So when it comes to lease, we have like different kind of lease. We have like the 1 year lease, we have the 6 months, we have like month on month. Let's say you rent an apartment and then you go for like a 6 months lease, and your lease starts from January and ends in June. It means that you're signing off with the landlord that at least I'm going to be in this apartment from January to June before I leave. It doesn't mean that you cannot leave in the middle of the lease, but you're expected that because you have signed that you will stay, even if you go somewhere else, you would still be paying the money there. But sometimes it's not always like that. It doesn't mean you cannot leave like in between. You just have to like explain and relate very well to your landlord. And most of the time, they don't make you pay, but like, just know or have it at the back of your mind. So there's like 6 months, month on month is that it's monthly kind of. Your lease is like monthly, do you get? Which is usually the best for me though. Remember that because you're coming from Nigeria, especially if you really need to secure an apartment, your options are limited. Be open to anything. Try to like, okay, how about we do like a 3 months? Or, you can negotiate whatever you want. So yeah, I hope you guys really understand what a lease looks like currently, and I hope that will help you like when it comes to deciding what you want. One thing you're going to really, really experience and one thing you should expect is that most landlords would not be comfortable with renting their apartment to somebody that is not in Canada. I mean, I got that a lot, like, oh, you're not here currently, so we cannot keep our apartment down for you. And that's okay if you understand it from their aspect, because I mean, they're trying to rent their apartment and they're like, oh, you're not even in Canada yet. How sure am I that you're going to come? So they would rather deal with somebody that is already in Canada. So I mean, expect that, but don't lose hope. Like, it's not the end. Keep searching. There's definitely somebody that is going to listen to you out there. I mean, my landlord was so kind, but he wasn't the only person willing to rent their apartment to me. He was just the cheaper option. There were definitely other landlords willing to let me come. Another thing you should try to emphasize to them when they are like that is, oh, I have a visa, because some of them don't really know the process, because they don't go through the stress of like applying for visas because they're Canadians. So some of them don't really understand how it works. So all you need to do is explain like, oh, I already have a visa. I'm due to come. I already have my flight booked. So you need to explain to them and try to reassure them. Also try to make them know that you are an international student and you may not really have like a guarantor and all those people that they need to sign those things for you. But try to like engage with them and assure them as much as you can. But don't be too pressurizing, but just try to be as assuring as possible, especially if you really, really need it. So next up, I'm going to be telling you guys the questions that I asked my landlord when I started to message him. The questions that I asked my landlord was, basically the things that I asked you to look out for. It's more like you're reconfirming that these things are there. Like, personally, I wanted like an all female apartment because yes, another thing to note here is that boys and girls, they live for the same place. So it's very, very common. Like, a boy and a girl can be staying in the same apartment. It's very, very common. Me, I wanted like an all female space. So that was part of the things I asked the landlord. Is this place going to be like an all female place? If you're a guy and maybe you don't mind, you can skip it, or you can ask the landlord, because sometimes the landlord may want an all female, or I hardly see all male. It's usually all female or it's mixed. So if you're a guy, you just need to like reconfirm that okay, are guys allowed, right? For me, I just wanted to know if it was like all females. So you'll need to ask the landlord, is it furnished? Will it be furnished? How far is it from your school? Because usually if the place is in a city that is where your school is located, usually the landlord would know or have an idea of how long it takes. And another thing you need to ask the landlord is how close is the bus stop to the house. Also know that you'll be expected to pay your first and your last. If you pay your first month, that's the first month you move into the place, and the last month is for the last month you move out of the place. So what it means is that any month you decide to leave the house, you won't pay rent for that month because you have already paid for it at the beginning. It's a kind of insurance for them. So that's why they usually ask for like your first and your last. So keep that in mind when coming, that you pay like for your first and your last month. So now the last thing I did when it came to searching for an apartment is viewing. So basically, if you have somebody that can go and look at the apartment for you, that would be great. So I would usually suggest to the landlords to do a virtual tour where like we can set up like a Zoom meeting and then they can show me around like on their phones while I watch and see what the apartment looks like. At least it also assures the landlord that, oh, you're real, because when you connect like on Zoom, the landlord sees you and you see the landlord. I'm going to like post my own viewing and what it was like. So I would usually wait and connect with them and view. So that was another way I was able to like see what the apartment looks like for myself before landing. You need some kind of viewing, and I really, really suggest like a virtual tour. That's like a really good alternative. It would be great to suggest it like to the landlords, because sometimes they don't really think of that option, but you have to think of it because you're coming all the way from Nigeria and you want something that is really good for yourself. So you need to think about it and suggest it to them. Oh, can we do like a virtual tour? But usually you suggest this when you see that the landlord is willing. So yeah, that is basically every single thing that I did and every single step that I took with regards to getting my own apartment. And I hope this is very helpful to somebody out there. Next up, we are going to be talking about the questions I was asked at the port of entry. Honestly, with regards to the questions I was asked at the port of entry, I was asked a bunch of nothing. Yes, I'm being for real. So when it just got to my line, I came up and it was like, oh, students, right? So I gave the person my acceptance letter. For me, I had like co-op, so I also gave them my co-op work permit letter. I just gave them like bunch of documents that they asked for. They didn't really ask me like much questions. They were like, oh, have you paid like any tuition whatsoever? And I said, yes, absolutely. So I gave them like my tuition receipt, and yeah, that was basically it. I wasn't asked like, no, like I wasn't really asked that. I was just asked to like give them documents to like authenticate that I'm a student, right? They just collected my acceptance letter, looked at my co-op work permit letter, and the other one, which was, they just asked me if I had paid any tuition, and I said yes. So I just gave them my tuition receipt. They didn't go, oh, let's see how much you are. No, they didn't ask me all those things. They also asked me if I had somewhere that I would be staying. Do you get, like, because they needed to put like an address. They just told me that it's not a big deal, that they just wanted to like that they need to put an address, that if I'm staying in a hotel, I should just give them the name of the hotel, and so they can just impute it on their system. So because I had already secured an apartment from Nigeria, I just gave them the address of my apartment, and yeah, that was really it. Nothing much, no, nothing so kind of in it. So yeah, after the collected, he just looked at me, I was like, okay. And the next thing, he printed out my study permit, printed out my co-op work permit, stamped my passport, and yeah, that was it. I wasn't asked a lot of questions, but I would just say that make sure you're confident. To be honest, I wasn't even scared. I mean, I'm really not that person, but I know there are some people that have like anxiety and stuff like that. So you just want to make sure that you're confident, you're bold, just trust that as far as God has led you to that point, that you're not going back. So just be confident and come with some documents just in case, which is like have your printed like acceptance letter. Like if you have co-op work permit, come with the letter. You can also print out your bank statement. I didn't, but if you need to, you can print it out, and you can print out the one you used to apply for your study permit. Yeah, you don't like stress so much, for real. Print out your tuition receipts. That would be helpful just in case. So yeah, that's basically everything that I did and the questions that I was asked. You've got this, guys. I'm happy I was finally able to make this video. And thank you so much for your wonderful messages, the emails you sent to me. And I'm so grateful that I have this sweet, lovely community. And I hope that we can connect more. I hope I can get to know you guys. And yeah, that's it for now. Oof, guys, I'm set for work. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm so happy that I was able to connect with you guys once again. Thank you so much for sticking with me, and I hope that this info is like as important and as beneficial to you guys. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in my next video. Ciao, ciao. I need to go to work. Bye.